Thought it was me. Thought it was me that made this girl so wild. Came to find out she like that with all the guys.
Good day.
Hold on, let me get my earpiece in. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's going on, sir?
Not much, man. Another day. All right. Through it. I think we got through it almost. Just a little bit more to go, I guess. Oh, no. I need a new candle lighter. What a disaster.
Oh, you say candle lighter made me think of a bottle opener.
Oh, what happened? Did you get one?
No, I totally forgot that there was magic bottle openers that I should have been looking into.
Right? And look at me now. Look at me now. I can't get this thing lit because my special thing ain't working. Oh, I'm gonna burn myself. I'm gonna drip on myself. We gotta wait for the candle now, man. Whew. What are you drinking? You got a drink?
Yes, 19 crimes today.
Is that Snoop Doggy Dogg?
Snoop D-O-double-G. Wow, wow.
Doggy Dog, yo. Well, that's impressive. How we get Snoop Doggy Dog? Huh? Can we get Snoop Doggy Dog on the show? We gotta tag him or something, maybe. How do we do that? Can we do that?
I guess we can.
Oh, I gotta figure that out. I'm gonna burn the house down trying to get this thing lit, yo. So I'm not even gonna bother with that right now. Put that out. I'll get something else lit later. As long as that works, I'm good. All right. So Snoop Dogg, what's this? What kind of drink is this? It's a mashup. What do we got?
It's a Cali Red. I think it's a mashup, to tell you the truth. Can you see it?
I can see it.
19 Crimes. 19 Crimes is the name of the brand.
Yeah.
And he is I guess the special edition for this particular Cali Red. And I think it was when it was first introduced, I was told it was a limited edition.
Uh-oh.
Right. And you could barely find it, right? It was just like a limited edition. I think it went over so well that now it's
the edition.
Yeah, it's the edition, exactly.
All right. Well, so some things go, right? Some things start out and you never know what's gonna happen. Then all of a sudden the right person drinks it and you're good to go, right?
I mean, it's the type of thing where like anybody that drinks it, they're like, whoa.
I haven't tried it yet, so I know I like my reds. I think next time I'm in I can just get it here anywhere now, or I still got to do I have to be special people? No, I can get it anywhere.
You don't got to be special anymore. One time you had to be special.
All right.
It's the only reason why I'm opening the bottle now. I know you don't have to be special anymore to get it.
All right. Okay, so now you can if you finish this one right quick, you can get another one. What in the world? See, if you had the bottle opener right now.
You're damn right. You damn right.
See, look, so you need a bottle opener and I need a candle lighter with the Pizza in the Breakroom logo on it.
Pizza in the Breakroom episode number.
Just number 5.
Number 5.
Is it?
Episode 5.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
ER Sansu. ER Sansu Wo.
You went to that other school, right? You went to the other school?
Which school was that?
The other one. I don't know which one, but not the same one I went to.
I didn't learn that one.
No, I didn't learn that in school.
How do you do this?
It rained out by you today? It rained out by you today?
Yeah.
A little bit?
Yeah. I seen some water out there on the road.
You didn't get caught up in it. I didn't get caught up in it either, but I was out for a little bit. Stuff. What happened? It said it was recording.
Oh yeah.
I don't see anything.
No, it's recording. It's recording. It's recording.
Says that somewhere?
Yeah.
It yelled at me when I came in that it was being recorded.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So privacy thing, eh?
Yeah,
I have to let you know.
Oh yeah, you gotta. I have to consent. Yo, yeah, you need yeah, that's what I'm buying you for Christmas, yo.
Holy! Oh, here we go. You know what? I screwed it up from the beginning. I could have done this. I could have done this a long time ago.
You didn't read the instructions.
No, I'm acting like I never used a bottle opener before. That's what I'm acting like.
What happened? You never, it's like not like riding a bicycle. There you
No,
go.
because I was trying to latch these hooks on right here as opposed to latch this on. What do you say about bicycle?
I don't know.
Look at Snoop. Look at Snoopy. Look at Snoopy on the cork.
Oh, that's pretty. That's all right. That's all right.
Look at Snoopy
That's pretty.
on the cork.
Sometimes it's little details, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't understand that stuff.
All right. Tell me how to do it. I know you live in wine. You live around wine country, so tell me the procedure of how I'm supposed to do this thing now.
What do you mean? Like the whole thing? Well, you pour it. You got to pour.
Yeah.
Maybe give it a little.
So, oh wait, do I do that in the bottle or do I do it in
Well,
the
I mean,
glass?
you opened it. You might want just a little out of it.
So I go.
You got a little bit of that. Scratch it with. It doesn't do much, but especially as soon as you the cork, you know.
Oh,
okay. Then you do your pour.
You ever cut a bottle? You ever cut a bottle open with a knife?
No, I never went to London, That's where
so
you
am I supposed to go
stuff?
like this, and am I supposed to go like this, and or whatever?
Well, I mean, you got it. There's a little bit of. I mean, you got to swirl that.
There's a way to hold it too, like this.
Oh no!
Wait, no. I think I'm not supposed to hold wine like this, right? Because then I warm it up. Yeah. Ah, look at this. I feel something here.
Or you can put it if you put it on the table. Put it on the table, and you put your hand flat. Like
yeah. See, I know you come from wine county, man.
And you gave it a little spin. You get a little bit more stability. You get a little bit more stability.
Yeah. So am I supposed to like go like this and then go and spit it back in?
No, you spit it in the other thing, guy.
Oh, spit it back in the bottle. You want some?
Oh, jeez, man. You know what? I'm gonna take you on a wine tour. Until you go on a wine, it's easy once you go on the wine tour, to be honest. But that's recent for me more than anything. Like I'm no connoisseur, but I know how to get in there and look like one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can do the sniff and the swirl. One time I was at a restaurant.
Yeah.
In Niagara Falls, one of the better restaurants in Niagara Falls, and I ordered wine, and I ordered just a glass, and the guy came up to me and he poured a little bit of the glass and he just stood there.
Yeah.
And I was looking at him. I was like, first of all, you're gonna put more in my glass, and then second of all, can you get off of me for a hot second, right? Or you were just standing there with the bottle. Just standing. Back up, Steve. Mind your business. Mind your business. And he's standing there. I look at him. He's like, "You're supposed to try it." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right, okay." And I take my last sip. He's like, "Do you like it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I like it." And then he poured the rest in. But it's until you go and certain thing, like I didn't know people do that. I guess people do that in certain restaurants. Maybe in London they do that stuff, but they didn't. I never been to a place and they did that. It was like standing there just so.
Mm-hmm. That dinner sounded like it was at least $300-$400.
It was a good dinner. Nice view, all that good stuff, right? It was all. It was.
Where was it?
I forget the name of the place. It was a Niagara Falls, not one of them.
Niagara Falls. Okay.
Yeah. So, you think. It's like I just told you, I can pretend like I know what I'm doing from a wine connoisseur perspective, but then he hit me with that new shit, and I was like, look like a rookie, all around rookie. So, but you got to start somewhere. So yeah, man, we can go out. We should go out while it's warm, man. Go do one of them wine tours. Some of them are different. I went to one like what's the place called? Oh, I'm not gonna remember. Peller Estates, and they had like an ice wine fridge, and you can go in. There's a bar in there. They give you jackets and stuff.
Say word, yeah,
man. So there's some cool little spots out there, and you can make like a day or two of it, even like a week. I could go down on a Saturday, and you can spend the whole Saturday drinking wine. But just because they're all in a row, right? They're all on down one or two separate strips, like down those two main strips. You can just hit up like 12, 15 wineries down one strip, do some tastings. They always have events going on, and usually, I guess, before all the madness, events going on and stuff. So you can get like a passport pay for it and you're getting tastings and
That'd
different
be a
stuff
dope
like that.
little like vlogs, little vlog
Yeah,
series there, little,
yeah,
you
right.
know,
Wine in the break room. Yeah, a little wine in the break room.
wine in the pizza room.
Yeah. Right. No, I mean it's interesting. So, like I said, I'm relatively new to it, I guess, but living close to Niagara, it makes it a little bit a hop, skip, and a jump sometimes to do that stuff.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
So,
I
stays
figured that. I
interesting.
figured that's something that you probably would have done every weekend at one point in your life.
I mean, maybe not every weekend, but a couple of times a summer.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yeah, Niagara Falls is what, like half an hour away from me on a good day. So we can do all that stuff right quick.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. And then the falls, not Niagara Falls, but like the Twos Falls and all them falls.
All the little itty bitty falls in between.
All them falls, like you live right close to all those falls, right?
Yeah, well, they say that the Hammer is the waterfall capital of the world.
Waterfall capital of the world.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I got here. Right. But there's little waterfalls, there's big waterfalls, like no Niagara Falls or anything like that. But there's a fair share of waterfalls, and you can like hike from like you can go on a hike and hit like 4 or 5 of them and stuff like that. Yeah, there's like some around the corner, like some places as well. You just never realize it. Like you drive by it a million times, and until you get up in there,
I've been to Twos Falls once.
Yeah, I haven't been to Twos Falls. Been to a couple, and there's some that I definitely want to go to. Is another reason for a vlog. Maybe we can do some waterfalls and stuff. But Hamilton, I big up Toronto for everything I got all day, every day. But Hamilton's good for specific things.
Yeah.
Right. Hamilton's good for their waterfalls and their hiking and trails and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of that around here. And they got some some nice dining. Like if you like to go to like some not the big chain stuff, but little small mom and pops, very specific, little turn the corner in the neighborhood and there's just like a wicked restaurant in a tattered up house type thing.
What they call them? Are those what they call dives?
I guess, yeah. Technically, all right. I mean, dives are dives, right? Dives are some of those. Like one of my favorite restaurants isn't open anymore. And I was driving by. I used to drive by it to work every day, and it was just barred up, one little door.
Yeah,
bars in a decent part of downtown Hamilton. And one day it was just open, and I went in there, and it's my favorite restaurant ever.
Yeah,
like it was inside. It was nice. Got to know the owners and stuff. Did a couple of events there even, right? And it was a nice little spot. Tiny.
What kind of food was it?
A little bit of everything. It was more like, what is that? I don't know, what do they call it? Canadian? I don't know. You can get your steaks and your your prime ribs. You can get some seafood, but it was I'm gonna go with Canadian. But it doesn't, that maybe, I don't know if that does it justice, saying that, but it was a good variety. Like everything was just, how do you say,
It had a certain je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. The drink, it was a wine bar as well, and it was
so they had a little organization to what it is that they were doing and what they were delivering.
Yeah, they knew it. Yeah, but you'd never know it until you walk inside. Right. So you can, they have some specialty drinks and some different stuff in there, and off whatever brand that ever you might get, but then they bring in a couple of special editions. So it was nice. It was nice to just go there and have some stuff. So that place was nice. But so Hamilton's good for that.
I used to like watching is his name Guy Fury? Guy
Drive Diners and Dives, whatever.
Yes, Drives, Diners and Dives. Oh man. I used to sit down and watch that show every day. And I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing this, because all this show is doing is making me hungry. And I will never be able to prepare what these, but I used to eat meat then too, right? So
yeah.
But that was I used to just watch that show. I mean, I used to watch that Food Channel like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I used to watch the Food Channel like crazy. Now that I think about it,
Right.
but then I got a job.
Can't you watch TV while you're working? Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have cable at the shop. I just run the internet. So
You do your thing.
so yeah, and I'm not about looking up like food channels on
What's wrong? What's wrong? You're
YouTube.
embarrassed. You're embarrassed of your food
No,
connoisseurishness.
no,
Yeah. Come
nah,
on.
no,
Yeah.
nah,
Sounds like
nah,
it. Sounds like it.
nah. The only time I'll venture to looking at food shows now is when my boy Andre is doing his thing on MasterChef Canada.
No, I saw you posting about that a little while ago. I mean, I don't watch MasterChef Canada too tough, but I watched a couple clips, little bit of it when you posted it.
Right.
And he
Yo,
what? He won? How did
no,
he do?
he
What
didn't win.
happened?
He came second. But because of
He
him,
lit it up. Yeah.
I make the baddest fried dumpling right now, boy. Yo, his fried dumpling recipe, trust. It's a go-to. It's easy
Yeah.
and it's perfect, man. I've made dumplings for years. Not saying that I'm a dumpling maker for years, but now
Right.
I'm a
But
dumpling
yeah,
maker, bro.
now it's a different story. You can put
Oh,
that on skip the dishes.
one time.
Couture dumplings.
Couture dumplings. Yeah, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's good. Well, big shout out to Andre. That's good. And good for like
Yeah.
it ain't easy to do that stuff, right?
No, yeah. Yeah.
It's me and the kids were watching what's his name there? Hell's Kitchen. You know, we binged a couple of seasons recently. And so it's funny. I think we were talking about it last week, how my daughter's cooking now and stuff.
Right.
And the kids they were both making dinner the other day, and they were just making jokes. It was like, how long till you're ready? How long till you're ready? And I gotta get it. They were trying to coordinate it all. It was hilarious that they were picking up on that and doing that stuff. It was fun to watch.
That's dope. That's dope. So they get along good?
They get along very good, to be honest with you. Like very rarely, they don't. I don't think they have blowouts, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure they get annoyed at each other, but I've seen some people's kids like fist fight and then screw you, like they
Yeah.
disagree every now and then. But they've always taken very good care of each other.
So how is it when they get physically fight?
They don't.
No?
No.
And
No, like all
they
this
have
time, never. Like never. Now that I'm sitting here, I'm sitting here trying to think of a time where it's like, yo, what's wrong with you two? Like,
yeah,
come here.
Yeah. Never. No.
I can't think about it. They're like each other's rocks, I guess, a little bit, which is good, right? They take very good care of each other. All things considered, right? So I mean that's good. But no, they don't fuss. They don't like everything the same. So there's some things their worlds collide a little bit. But I mean, at the end of the day, that's about it. Like maybe, yeah, whatever. I can't really think of things that they fuss about consistently outside of just you have a bad attitude today. Right. And that's it. Like today, one's grumpy and one just says the wrong thing, and that's the size of it. No, but for everything since they were little, always take care of each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can always
that was on them, or that was on you? That was on them, or you guys instilled that in them?
well, I mean, I guess it's got to be some sort of combination, right? Maybe some of it is because of, maybe some of it is despite, who knows, right? Like so of course it's part of that dynamic as a whole. I mean, of course, we try to instill family, but I think at some point everybody tries to instill family, depending on what their view of family is, right? So, of all the things that you can look back on, those two, we did all right with those two, that's for sure. All things being equal, so what can you say? I can't. I got nothing to complain about with those two.
Do you think like you said, one says, oh, you have a bad attitude today, right? Thinking about the children, do you think it's your responsibility as a parent to keep them happy?
I mean, to a point, right? I think you got to show them how to be happy, right? I think that's more of what we've tried to do with them, is just you can show them like this is how it can be, this is how it should be, this is what this means, even especially from something like being happy, right? Like what
Right.
is it? What does it even mean to be happy, right? So you got to show them that it's about, what is that really about? That's about you feeling fulfilled with yourself, or doing things, or accomplishing things. So I don't know. That's a part of it, I guess. I don't know how to explain that side of it. I think parents are, ultimately, end of the day, like the buck stops here, right? So you should be responsible if they're good kids. If I had some responsibility. If they were bad kids, I had some responsibility. And on the days that they have the bad attitude, then I got some responsibility too, right? So
Nah,
I think
man.
it's
Nah, man. When they have the bad attitude,
not
that's not me,
somebody
man.
else. That was a teacher. That was a teacher or something. But yeah, some people, part of it is giving them the opportunity to fail as well, I think, right? Like I tell my daughter that all the time. I'm like, look, you're an adult. I'll give you as much I'll shoot you up with all the information that I can about a subject. And then I'm gonna walk away, and then you make your decision. All right. And then I'll stand by your decision. But at least I know, maybe you would have only looked at it this way, two or three ways. I'll add like 100.
Yeah.
All right. 100. Here's a 100 other things to think about.
Yeah.
And then I'm out. All right. And I think that's where, you got to give them the goods, and you got to give them the bad, and you got to tell them the truth as much as possible. Right. As parents, of course, there's certain things that, you fudge, I guess, right? But you give them as much information as possible to be able to understand the scenario. And I don't think we've ever sheltered the kids in any way, right? They've seen bad shit, they've seen good shit. But you talk to them along the way, I think, is important, right? Like I remember, so in my car, for example, I play the music that I listen to. Everybody knows the music that I like. So boom, since they were 5, I wasn't trying to necessarily play the edited version.
You were,
right?
yeah.
I'm not playing, they're gonna hear the swear words, and then I remember one day it was soccer, all right? And some soccer kids were in the car, and then it was like, fuck, shot, ba, 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 da, da, and I was like, and I looked at them and I was like, what the hell? And they're like, what? Right? And they're like, what? They looked, because then I'm like, oh, okay, all right. And then so I couldn't be mad at them, all right, because they got in the car and they played whatever we would usually play.
Yeah.
So I had to say, so I was like, all right, so you're right, that's what we play in the car. However, that's what we play in the car.
That's what we play in the car.
Right?
Don't let people know that we crazy.
Yeah, right. Like, so, it is what it is. Sometimes from that perspective, is just, all right, this is okay. This is okay in these situations, all right? And then this is not okay in these situations, right? And
until we find out that it's okay.
Right. Right. Or you find out, or you're grown enough to do whatever. So I think, that's the big piece, is just not sheltering them, exposing them, and then talking them through it. Right. So like I said, they've seen bad shit, they've seen good shit. And I am what I am in terms of, I try to be authentic, or all the time. So I can't be this at one time and then be something else. That would just show them that you have to not be authentic. No, just me. But being us or me, that means, yeah, you're gonna turn down that when somebody comes in the car. Let's play some Nelly Furtado or something, because we can jam to that too, right? So
okay, so you're not a sociopath.
no, I'm not that crazy. I just play the right things at the right time. Right, that's how the world works sometimes. Definitely not a sociopath. Well, I don't know. We got a definition, please. Right, use that in a sentence, like that kind of stuff. I'd have to double check that. I think everybody has it in them a little bit. But yeah, man. I mean, ultimately, like I said, good kids. All kids have their little quirks, right? All kids have those little things that you beat them over the head for every now and then. Yeah, but like I said, no complaints.
Okay. who you were
Hmm.
when you were young,
Mm.
um, teens, early 20s, right?
Yeah.
You were you were a certain person in the world.
Hmm.
You had your children before I had mine. So you had your children a
Yes.
lot, like you had your children younger than I had mine. When
Yeah.
you had your first child,
Yes.
what did that do to you? Like who like did that change who you were? Did that change anything about you?
Well, yes, I guess, right? Like it made me, and when I say that, and the struggle in the answer is, there's still some core things that always have driven me, right?
Right, right.
Uh, but it forces you to look at the world a little bit differently, regardless. I mean, sorry, let me rephrase. Forced me to look at the world a little bit differently. All right, some people don't make an adjustment. I had to make an adjustment. I was 22, right?
You're 22.
22.
Look at you.
All
Look at
right.
you slanging that thing.
So yeah, 22, slung that thing, and all right. So you have to think a little bit different. You have to be a little bit more responsible. You have to actually worry about the next paycheck. Right? You actually, because you're 22, living at home. I think at that time I was being paid pretty well, and I was being paid pretty well at that age, at that time, in cash.
Mm. Wait, were you working at the
Right?
casino?
No, but I had a nice little setup. Right? So
Okay.
no, I was not working. I was actually working at a legitimate business, but in cash on the side, because it was just a hookup like that. It was wonderful.
Okay.
Um,
Don't sound like it
and
anymore.
oh, it was. I mean, I think big company. I just my little part. They could expense me over here on the side, so it was good
Mm-hmm.
for a young chap. Um, but then you got to worry about, okay, what if this doesn't work out, and if this doesn't work out, and this doesn't work out. So
You had to make considerations now. Like you had to really
right,
check your chess pieces on the board and see what's all going on.
yeah, you had to read. The game had to change a little bit. So absolutely, I would think for most people, regardless of age, but definitely for me at that age, uh, something that I had to adjust, right, a little bit. Like I said, I haven't, you know, core values are always there and things that I've always thought about, and but to have that responsibility is different, right?
Did it make you did it take away from you being a cocky MF'er, or did it increase your your potency of cockiness?
Well, I mean, I knew that was coming at some point. I just didn't know where it was coming, but you know, I think it, like I said, some of the core values didn't change the fact that I was a cocky MFer. Now it's just, now my daughter's the wickedest daughter in the world and going to be that, and I'm going to be the wickedest father in the world, and
Yeah,
we're going to be the wickedest family from that perspective, and we're going to
yeah.
build on that, and we're going to go. So you know the cocky part, that didn't change anything, right? So same, like I say, same core values, that's still me, but it makes you, what's more important, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
it's important that certain things are taken care of, or certain things are the best, or I'm represented in a quote unquote certain way, representing in a certain way, but now I'm representing with a certain way, with the
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 family.
baddest the baddest little baby strap carrier on the front and
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah,
looking hip while I'm walking down the street with the kid slung to my chest, right? So
yeah.
not too much difference from that perspective.
Mhm.
That's what I mean, right? Is so when you're talking about that, obviously you're referencing my recent blog, um, but that I mean that goes to kind of the evolution of what I said in that blog, right? Is same gosh darn person, maybe a little bit of a different perspective on what some of those things meant, right? Um, you know, I always try to I can't focus on what other people think, right? And maybe people look at me differently in my old age, but still that person that thinks I will win all the time. I'm still that person that thinks I will, if it's one-on-one in tiddlywinks, right? If it's one-on-one in whatever it is, come at me, dog, right? And that's just the attitude that I have. And if it's, me and my two kids on the side versus you and something, let's rock, right? That's the thing that's never going to change, but that is just of, before it might have been about bravado in some way, shape, or form, or people might have thought of it as bravado, and now it's just steady confidence and everything that we've built up until this point in time, right? So it's a different look when you talk about the cocky motherfucker, MF'er, beep, 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 or the guy that says now, okay, what does a God complex mean, kind of thing, right? And like I said, all it means to me now is I should have all those things that are supposed to be meant for me, right? All things are going to work out because that's the way that it's supposed to be. And, whatever, call that cocky, call that as cocky as you want, but it's gotten me this far.
It's meant for me.
Right?
It's meant for me. So I shall have it.
Right. And there should be no other way to think about it. You should be everybody. And that's the thing, right? I think everybody should be confident in that because everybody can sit down and rhyme off a billion things that they've been through, a billion hurdles, a billion pitfalls and all that.
Absolutely.
But we still here, right?
Absolutely.
So you guys got to keep trekking. And that's where, maybe that's what's gotten me here is I just don't think I will fail. Because there's people around me, right? There's friends, there's family around me, there's stuff around me, man. Everybody should be happy with kind of where you should be able to look at yourself and just be like, I feel good right now, no matter what type of situation is. Personally, right? There's rocky roads, right?
Man, like
right?
we live rocky roads, bro. And if we're studying the road, the rockiness of the road, and not penetrating the destination, shit will be frustrating. You know what I mean? But if you know that
one step.
But if you know that there's somewhere that you're heading to, the destination should keep you uplifted. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I'm living rocky roads right now. You know what I'm saying? But I can't focus. I can't focus on the rocks, bro. I just got to focus on the destination. The destination is trying to be the best I can be and be the best I can for the people around me, But regardless of whatever ills may be happening in the peripheral.
Yeah. One day at a time, one step at a time, honestly, sometimes you got to break it down to, when I coached basketball, we'd be down, and it's just like, win this minute, guys. Win this 1 minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like win the minute. And if you can win the minute, that's going to change into winning the quarter and then winning the half and then winning the game. You know what I mean? And that's where the people you can dwell on shit until you're blue in the face, right? You can just look back and be like, oh, could have done this, should have done that, woulda, coulda, shoulda, if like all of it. But all I know is all I know is it's the date today because you don't like me screaming the date out, right? It's the date today. And that's all I got, right? This right here, this is, I got to make this the best that I can make it. And that doesn't mean it's a 10 out of 10. Maybe the best I can make it's a 7 out of 10. And I got to be happy with that as well, right? People set some crazy fucking expectations for themselves. People set crazy expectations for other people. And I stopped that shit.
That's the dangerous part.
You put expectation, number one, putting expectations on yourself kind of defeats the purpose of just next step. Take the next step, right? What happens with the next? I don't know. I took the next step. This is what happens. Deal with it. Once you put expectations on other people, you're fucked. Right? Because how am I? I can't tell you how your day went, right? I can't tell you how your day went. I can tell you that you went to work, you cut some hair, chatted with some people, right? Cut up some videos for us, right? But I can't feel that, right? I can't understand why you felt inspired to drop a video today, right? I can't tell you why when you're chopping up somebody's head that all right, this is the time to, I don't know if I can open up what do you call it? Open up the blade or switch it around, right? Like you just look at it, because that's what you do. And that's what you see, that's what you experience, that's what you like. Sometimes there's just feelings that go into things, like how you interact, how you react. So you put any expectation is based on what I think that you should be doing, or what I think, how I think I would react if I was in your situation.
Hearing you say that, you can also look at it as a point of view as, yes, you can't tell me how to feel, but you can give me an external audit. You know what I mean? You can audit me, you know what I mean? Yeah. And maybe I could be feeling great about my day. Or maybe I could be feeling down about my day. But you being a friend that knows what my goals are, knowing, knowing what it is that I'm trying to achieve, you can audit me, you know what I mean? And you can say, hey, fantastic, you got this and this done today. Yeah. But I know that your goal was this. Yeah. How do you feel? Like, yes, I know you feel good right now that maybe you made this certain amount of money, but there was something that you wanted to do. Did you get it done? Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can't tell me, you can't make me feel a certain way, but you can definitely align me with who I want to be.
And that's perfectly fine. And as a good friend, I should do that. I should constantly do that. I should check in. I should make sure that you're on your track.
Right.
Right. And so that's what I'm talking about, is I can't tell you where I think you should be. Right. I got to make sure that you're getting where you want to be going.
Right.
Right. So that's even for me, that was the slight adjustment. Right. And
so that being said, you come to work out tomorrow morning then?
Well, I mean, you're putting some pretty big expectations on me there, brother. That's it. I mean, you're putting expectations on me because you can wake up and you can do that shit at that time of the day. Hit me up and we'll see how it goes, right? But like I said, it ain't about those fucking expectations. Jeez, man. You're funny.
No, you know what? When you talk about expectations, and I think about everything that kind of stimulate, everything that pushed me to be something better than I was. Yeah. Was every time I had a child. It just pushed me further and further. It pushed me, it motivated me more and had me come out of my comfort zone more every time. Listening to you talk about, your daughter and having her on your chest and whatnot, and just makes me think about like when I had my son and the expectations I had for him. You know what I mean? Like I wanted him to be great. You know what I mean? And you said coaching, and when you said you're coaching, I'm assuming that you're coaching your son. I remember when I was coaching my son in soccer, and like I trained him regularly, like train him crazy, like, and when we get on the field now and he's like kicking ass, this is like, like a little 5-year-old kid now, you know what I'm saying? 5-6-year-old kid. And I'm like, all right, I gotta take him off and put on other kids now. And then he starts arguing with me. Yeah. Why are you taking me off? Yeah. Why are you taking me off? You're only taking me off because you're my dad. And I'm like, I look at one of the parents, I'm like, somebody come get this kid before I punch him in the face.
It's funny, I had one of those with my son, basketball. So it was I remember he called off a play one time. Right? I called the play and he looked at me and he's like, nah, and he called something else. and then the whistle blew and sub. And I was like, yo, you wouldn't do that for anybody else.
Right.
I go, and I go, if anybody, like, as he's walking off, I'm pretty sure the whole gym could hear me. All right. And I'm like, you wouldn't do that for anybody else. And if anybody else did that, they'd be getting the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just walked off. But coaching your kid isn't easy. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching other people's kids is easy.
Yeah.
Coaching your kids hard, because there's the balance of, are you treating them the same way you're treating everybody else when they're doing the proper stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's easy when they're doing the bad stuff to call them out, but because I'm sure you probably had a higher expectation because you know what he was doing. I know what he was doing in the basement while you used to be cutting hair in the basement, and this kid was doing hand tied behind your back, left-handed layups for basketball, like stuff like that, right? Seeing him practicing the ball in the small area. And my son, the same thing. So you know what to expect of them.
Right.
And to your point, where you expect this greatness from them. And then when that's the struggle, is when they're just normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you just had a regular old game, and then they get in the car and it's like, yo, you could have done this.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch the tape. Where the other kids are like going to McDonald's.
Yeah. It's so tough.
It's a tough balance. So that was challenge. That was probably, if I look back at it all, probably from a parenting perspective, one of the most challenging times as a parent, because it was hard to butt heads. And I think this is the more of he needed a more mature mindset, but I also think it was me being able to separate the father from the coach. So was I doing a good enough job of that?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was tough, because sometimes I was yelling at him as a coach.
Right.
And he might take that as something different, but could I compartmentalize that? Maybe. He'd probably tell me not as good as I thought I did. But that was probably one of the toughest things in just coaching that day in day, because at the time, he was, I don't want to say at the time, that sounds bad, but he was a decent basketball player for what he was doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like D1, but where we were at, we were good where we were at. We challenged some D1 teams here and there, right? But out here in the Hammer, it's just not the same type of machine that it is kind of in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Hammer, the teams are split up. The problem was the teams were split up. So it was already a small city in comparison, and there was like 3 rep teams. So we just ruined it by not making a big team. But anyways, long story short, is that was challenging from a parenting perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the lines, it was those lines were tough.
Yeah, like I think about that as the athlete that I was, and then seeing that my son had potential to be a great athlete, me pushing him to be great. Like sometimes I just didn't know if I was doing the right thing. You know what I mean? Like, because I used to be hard on him, bro. Like, it's funny. The other day, me and him, we're like, he wanted to see a track meet that he did. I had it on YouTube, right? I have it on YouTube. So he said he wants to see the track meet that he did, like back in like when he was in grade 7 or something like that, or grade 5, right? So as we're going through the videos, we see a video on YouTube of me training him when he was like young.
Yeah.
And the workout that we were doing was crazy. And as I was watching the workout, I was feeling bad. I was feeling bad, bro. Because he's like maybe 7, 8, maybe, right? And yo, bro, like the shit that I was making them do right now, you're paying a trainer like hundreds of dollars to make you do that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
No, I hear that.
and we're both watching it together, right? And I'm like, I'm feeling bad, but I'm not making them know I'm feeling bad. You know, I said, you see, you coming first in the city is not an accident.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not. Look how long you've been working. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, I'm a monster, bro.
Right? But it's true. They don't realize it sometimes either until they realize it, right? Until something happens that's just, oh yeah, right? Now I see it, right? Or I did that thing that I was always taught, or whatever it is, right? And I think that's the piece where those are the little itty bitty times where you can really say, you know, you actually did right when they figure it out, when they buck up on it. It can look like a disaster, that's for sure. And when we look back, you know, it is some things it's like, oh, but I don't know. Sometimes it's a fine line, right?
But here's the thing: is that like now, like sometimes like I get scared. Honestly, like, I'm scared to push the way that I used to push, because before he was a kid, I could push him, not going nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he's gonna love me. Still gonna love daddy. You know what I mean? But now I feel like if I push him the way I used to push him, like
that's big different right now too, right? That's big different when they get older. Yeah.
So it's like I gotta find the balance. You know, I don't know if I'm doing too much. Like if I'm pushing them too hard, if I'm, you know what I mean?
Or pushing them in for the right thing or the right reason sometimes as well, right?
Right. You know what I mean? So like I definitely don't gruel him the way that I used to. You know what I mean? But now I'm like, am I doing him a disservice, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Am I doing him a disservice, or am I saving my relationship with him?
Right. There's a I mean, that happened, especially, I mean, both of them when they're going through their like late teens.
Yeah.
Right. Like late teens, and that's the balance of, okay, you're 18. I mean, you can do what you want, but you know, you still live here. And if you're gonna do this, then you gotta do it right. And you know, that kind of, you know, those kind of conversations is where it gets to, and just like, yeah, you're okay, you're grown, you can do it, okay, yeah. And then you're just, hey, no, right? And you're like, I'm still your father, that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
But it gets to, like I said, you have to, part of it is once they get older is at some point, you just got to trust that whatever you did, whether you thought you were a monster at that time, whether you thought you were too soft, whether you thought we coddled them, or opposite, didn't coddle them in certain situations where we could have, you just got to trust that as long as you did it all for the right reasons, right? Then they're going to appreciate they're just going to appreciate that effort, I guess. Right? If that makes sense, right? So he might look back, like Trips might look back at that session and say, oh, man, that was tough. But he's probably also going to look at it and say, all right, I can see why you did that. Right? Okay, I was first in the city. I was kicking ass, and then at some point it becomes their decision. And then that's where it's also like, at some point sports stopped for me. Right? Like my kids were strong in sports for a very long time. Right? And circumstances brought them to certain situations, and then it stops. And then there's the rest of your life to deal with as well. Right? And then so like it all comes down to hoping that anything that you instilled or built or whatever, like it should carry across sports, carry across school, carry across home, like all that stuff, right?
It's crazy. You say sports stopped, I thought I was going to the NBA until I was like about 30. I was like, okay, maybe I'm not going.
They got the G League now, bro.
I thought I was
G
going until
League
I was
now.
about 30 years old. And when I was like 31, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I ain't going to the NBA.
Maybe if I'm not right, right. But it's the truth, and that's a piece of your life too that stops. It ain't like as bad as it is for them. Like, the routine, the circuit, the people you see, like, for me coaching, and even with her, watching her play soccer right up through certain time, right? It was like a part-time job, all that stuff, right? Coming home and then hitting the road or waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning to get to whatever tournament on a Saturday, all that shit. It's and you don't realize how big a part of that your life that is either until later on. So it's interesting.
How were your kids in school? Like personality wise, were they bullies?
Were they cool kids type shit, like that kind of stuff?
Cool kids? Were they bullies? Did they get bullied?
I think they were well rounded. I think they were those kids that were they were good, right? They were good. I mean, at being athletic helped. Like in school, grade school, like they were both like, athlete of the year and, grade 8 or whatever. They were both on a couple of different teams in high school and stuff. So I think that helped them just being like I remember when my daughter went to high school, like they're in grade 9, but her whole gangster rep team basically went. So it was like,
Right. So yeah.
we're good.
We're good. Yeah.
So they were. They definitely weren't bullies. I don't remember them being bullied.
Were you a bully?
No.
You were a bully?
I might have been a little bit of a jerk, but I wasn't a bully.
Well, maybe a jerk is a bully. You don't know.
No, maybe. Right? I think more. No, I might have been more of a jerk, but not a bully.
Okay, so you might have been. So you were a jerk to the bully.
Oh, definitely.
So like when the bully's coming to beat you up, and he's like holding you, and you're like, let go, and then he lets you go, and then you run away, and you go,
yeah,
you're that exactly. Guy. And then he starts chasing you again,
and then I'm out because I was fast.
Like okay, stop.
Yep, and then boom, gone.
Okay.
I caught my man. You got to work it, but no, yeah, they were in school. They were fine. They were fine, I guess, in school. Right, none of that. Not too much extra stuff.
I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday. A girlfriend of mine called me, and I was in the car with my big son, and she's like, how's he doing? I'm like, he's good, man. He goes, he must be so big now. I'm like, yeah, he's all grown up, And he's like, is he a good kid? I'm like, man, you know what? He's too good, man.
Right?
Like I said, this boy needs some edge. You know what I'm saying? Like he's too good. Like I think
he needs a little rough.
Yeah, I think I need to like walk in the mall with him and then like walk by a bad boy and just like knock off the guy's hat and point at it was him. Point at my son and just let it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, but I hear that. But I think that's just kids these days too. All right, because I would tell you the same thing about my boy. You're like, you're too nice, man. Stop being so nice. And that sounds terrible saying it, but I think you know what I mean, right? Like, no, I don't do that. You're too nice. Like everything is like, thank you very much. Everything's very, super, very much appreciated. Like all that stuff. Like, no, that wasn't good service. No, like, no, man, that wasn't good service. That type of stuff. So that's where, yeah, I hear you on that statement still. Oh, it wasn't that good. I was talking about my own story on this one. Usually I go on your stories. You're like deep when there's
usually you're like, you know what?
I don't want to hear no more of this.
Yeah, I don't want to hear no more of this.
I can't deal with this saucy stuff, Jeez. I needed my refill. You know how it is, man. I thought I did good.
This commercial break was brought to you by the Buffalo Bills.
Giddy up, yo. Hootie hoo. See over. I don't know if you can see him well over here. Is Josh Allen, the newly minted newly minted, very highly paid quarterback of the Buffalo Bills. So he got a spot. This is on top of my Real Talk candles there. Shout out to Real Talk Candles. I don't know the lady, but she makes
Real
wicked
Talk candles.
All right.
Smells like Scarborough Town. Smells like Warden Station.
Yeah, that one smells like Warden Station. What do we got over here? We got Manifest Good Shit over here.
Bring it close. Let me see one. Can you bring it close or no?
See how we don't know. What's that? Can you see that?
Manifest Good Shit. What does it say underneath it?
Real Talk Candles.
Real Talk Candles.
So there's Manifest Good Shit. All right. You saw the Scarborough candle. You'll like this one. This is actually, it's going to make it even better once you read it. This is a citronella candle. So for the outdoors.
Gwey.
Read that?
Jesus. Gwey.
Right? That's why I love these.
You know who that one's for?
Mm.
That's for Goran Drajic.
Goran Drajic can Gwey for real. That little, get out of here, brother. That guy, like, screw that guy. You see, oh, I made a mistake.
Real Talk candles for Goran Drajic. Gwey.
No, those guys are lit. She started her, I follow, every now and then you catch a little local company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you follow their story. I don't know. So they started doing something. She was doing something else completely when the pandemic started. And then the pandemic, she started making candles out of her house, I guess, like out of the living room. And now, bro, if you go on that candle shop, she got her own shop downtown. Ships everywhere, candles like in stores and stuff. Well, I don't know about stores, but I know they're in Chapters and Ajax. Yeah. And it's all this kind of like funny as hell, man. Like you gotta check. If you haven't checked that out, check that out. The candles are wicked. They just make you laugh. And now she's got all these different flavors. What do you call them? Scents? Sorry,
please
not
don't
flavors.
Like, are they edible candles? This guy says.
One day, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that's pretty lit. Those guys. So yeah, Real Talk candles, big up. Real Talk.
Real Talk candles.
Real Talk candles. Ooh, what else we got? That was a commercial break. Yo, we got a
commercial break.
I think we need to do some commercials or something. When we come by, we gotta do a photo shoot.
All right. I'm gonna get some light so I can get a shiny still. This shine is a hard day's work. That's what this shine is.
We need a statistician and a makeup artist.
Yes.
Or two makeup artists. I guess, right?
Down.
Two makeup artists.
Eleanor and Julia.
Bobo and Julia. Giddy up.
Eleanor and Julia back in the fold.
There is a good old day. Mary Ward.
Once stand again, up.
Mary Ward, stand up. It's funny. I was thinking. I was like, just what are the things that I remember about Mary Ward? Like just certain, like what are the things that like stand out from Mary Ward? And there's a couple. Like I remember. I don't know if you were there. Were you there the day that Lord Loki had his 100th lake?
Hold on a second. It was monumental. The day that Lawrence Nassywall had his 100th lake.
And I think at the time he was of age, so he could kind of write his own note. But I remember the secretary.
He was a boy on his way.
And it was
to school with a purpose. And when he entered the door, he was late.
Stop it.
Mr. Nassywall, you late again?
Yo, we did a lap that day in memory of Lawrence. There was a bunch of people who did a lap with him on that day because people don't understand that.
Talking about you commemorating his 100th late
with a lap. So people don't understand, I guess. So our school, Mary
Yeah.
Ward, big up, YOLO. YOLO is not the right word for that. What's the right word for that? It's not YOLO. It's not the right statement.
I don't know.
Mary
You're
Ward,
going
stand
there.
up.
Mary Ward,
Mary Ward,
stand up.
stand up. So that school, they had this program, right? And this program was basically, you're in high school, you should control and schedule your own type of learning. Right? And it's like, right? So we got like 13-year-olds that are supposed to be responsible for, basically they're supposed to be preparing you for university. And I didn't go to university, but
Thank you, Mary Ward.
right? But the top level of that school was just a square, and you could walk the whole square around and round. And I can tell you, since I could schedule my own learning, that I walked that square many, many times while I should have been learning. But yeah, man, we did a lap. He had the, I remember.
Your mom doesn't watch this. Your mom doesn't watch this show, does she?
I really hope not, and not even for that story. It's because I'm grown, but I hide certain. I try to hide from my mother on certain things. You know, I think a lot of grown folk know how that works. There's certain people you don't want your mother to know or see. So, Mom, I hope you don't watch the show, even though you know. I'm grown. See, I'm grown, man. I'm 40 plus, man. Mom.
Big man, big up, big chest.
Right? Yay.
With your big chest, like Babcock.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, I pop my chest open right quick. That woman will. But yeah, man, Mary Ward. I remember the 100th late. I remember before the big school, actually, the North Campus ride, the ride on the school bus between campuses.
Oh man. And there's a certain bump. There's a certain bump on that ride. I don't know if you know the bump.
Everybody gets ready for it. It's like, oh, here it comes.
Bump.
Here it comes. Books, and then somebody breaks their neck on the top of the school bus. You know, it's like, oh,
that bump in the road that makes you fly.
Yeah, that. I still remember that first playoff game. I'll never forget that first playoff game.
Where playoff game in the school?
In the school. That one. I think we talked about that earlier too. The one where Marcus hit that shot. It was like against Bray Buff, and he hit the baseline. I remember baseline.
Yeah.
Big Marcus Mack. I remember that. The first SocHop. Remember my first SocHop?
You know, I thought SocHop meant that you party with party in your socks.
I started like that too, brother. Don't worry. That's the first thing I thought. That's normal. I think that's normal for
that's what I thought a SocHop was.
First generation sock hoppers, I think.
I said, man, you know what? I gotta find some matching socks.
I gotta find some special. You probably paid like $16 for a pair of socks to go to the sock hop that day.
Yo, man's didn't really have like matching socks like that. Like, how do socks disappear, bro? How do socks mix match? Like, where do socks disappear to, bro?
That might be
or is that just my house?
The way to figure that out, I hear, is through ancestral mathematics, bro. Apply that shit, and you figure out where your socks are. That'll be a lot of people looking for your socks, bro.
Yo, SocHop. I still don't even know what a SocHop is, anyways.
Right? I just remember that was something to go to. But yeah, they were fun times, man.
What does SocHop stand for?
Social.
Operation.
Social operation. I don't know. What does SocHop stand for? Weren't you on the committee?
Me on the committee. The only committee I was on was the basketball committee and the volleyball committee. SocHop.
Called it SocHop. Why is it called a SocHop? SocHops were commonly held at high schools and other educational institutions, often in the school gymnasium or cafeteria. The term came about because dancers were required to remove their hard-soled shoes to protect the varnished floor of the gymnasium.
Oh, it is a sock. It's a sock thing.
You're supposed to be wearing your socks, yo.
Oh, it's a sock thing. So it's
That's why you're ahead of the game, brother, man. Like that whole time, everybody was wearing their shoes, and you were sitting there feeling embarrassed, but you were right.
I was right. It's a sock thing, fam.
Sock thing, yo.
Yeah.
Bring your big socks, yo.
As long as they didn't say socks off. Oh. Oh. With my basketball feet at the time. Jeez.
Your
No
big
sock.
toe. You never had that. You never got the pedicures with the big toe.
Yo, the big toe is black, bro.
Mm.
The left foot, the jumping foot. The jumping foot, the big toe was black, bro.
And the baby toe is dead. Baby toe dead off.
The big toe never got pretty again until I stopped playing basketball for like 3 years. And then I remember one day I looked at my feet. I'm like, whoa, I have clear nails.
Yeah, the struggle was real. I hear that. So.
Yo, the big toe was black all my entire life.
I used to have calluses on my hand.
Used to? You don't dunk no more?
Bro, apparently I have the softest hands in the entire world. Right? Like survey says, right?
Yo.
But I used to have like
for sure.
Callus.
For sure. For sure.
Maybe that's how you do it. I don't know. Maybe so it go.
I don't think Elder had any calluses.
Yeah, because you just every time you just it's a ball like just from volume. That's just from volume with the ball.
Hey, did you play with Burley? You played with Big Guard?
Burley Graham, yeah.
You played with him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I left. Okay, so the next year you guys played.
But didn't you play with him?
I never played with him.
How could you not have played with him?
Because I left. I played at MT 1 year.
So he came after?
I guess he came after.
He wasn't there the first year?
Mm-mm.
No, wait.
No, I never played with Burley.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So you played the year with Richard, Elder.
I didn't play with the Graph either. You played with the Graph?
Did you play with me at MT?
Hold on.
This is my memory's killing me. You're in that picture, right? That same picture. You're in that picture. You're in that same picture. No. You play with Sandy.
I played with Sandy.
Mikhail. Was Marlon on that team? Young Marlon. Left hand.
I know Marlon. Was he on the team?
He had to be, because I think that's me and him got in a fight on the bus, and you grabbed me with one hand and you threw me and stopped me. I remember that. So you were that right? I'm getting my teams mixed up. I can't be getting my teams mixed. It's impossible. I'm sure.
Okay, so
you sure?
So there's you, Ricardo, Sandy, Elder, Mikhail,
yeah,
Richard,
Ashcon,
McNeely.
McNeely?
What are you talking about, McNeely? What do you mean McNeely? Like that?
I'm trying to, because he went to MT first, right?
Yes. What do you mean? That's the only reason why we ended up at MT.
I know, but I'm saying.
What do you mean McNeely? So why you say McNeely like that? If McNeely didn't go to MT, none of us would go to MT.
I agree. So I'm not questioning that McNeely went to MT. I'm questioning if he was on that same team with us, because he went first. He went there before, and then he was gone. No,
we played with him. What are you talking about?
So who do we play in?
If he wasn't there, I would have went to Milliken. and then I don't know what you guys would have done. You guys would probably come to Milliken.
No.
Well, then too bad for you guys. You guys would have lost like some motherfucker.
No. Come on, man. Come on. If you weren't on my team, you weren't winning.
Hold on a second. You know what?
No.
So anyways,
no. Come on. Let's not get into all this what ifs. Okay. So who did we lose to?
I want to ask you a question. I was thinking about this today.
Uh-oh.
How come you never came to any of the summer leagues?
I went to one.
And George Brown? You go to George Brown?
Yeah, once, and Shecky yelled at me once, and then that was it. I think I was done.
Yeah.
I did it 1 year. What happened? I don't know what happened. 1 year with you? No, didn't you take me 1 year?
I took you.
I
Okay.
think so. I think you took me, and then that's where I got the calluses. And then Shecky yelled at me. that rim was like 9 3/4. Yeah, just a little bit.
So how come you never played in none of the UFT leagues? Or were you out of town by then?
I must have been out of town by then.
Yeah.
That was after Centennial. That was after school, after college. Yeah. Well, that'd been why. I was either out of town or otherwise occupied.
Oh yeah. Because if you had
That would have been right there.
If you had Deja by 22, I'm probably in those leagues playing at 25.
Yeah,
which means
right
that
then.
If you're 23, 24, you're in the Hammer then? Or no?
No. I was still in Toronto.
You're still in
Toronto. But I was
Toronto.
just busy. I was busy.
Yeah, you're making that under the table money.
You do what you got to do, man. I think I was doing the light work at that point in time. I think I played enough football, touch football league.
This guy said big football. Town boys. You see, you lose focus, man. You see, you need new friends, bro.
What do you mean? I was good at that. It was good because it was like middle of the night. Fuck those leagues, man. Shit. That's the only time I could spare 2 hours. That at that point in my life. Good gosh darn it. To play at midnight, get home at 2, go to work at 7.
That's how it was at what's it called? Sukri's gym.
Sook's gym was nice too.
Sook's gym was nice. You were still in Scarborough then?
Yeah, I went to Sook's gym all the time.
That was nice.
We played that because Marv would play there sometimes.
Yeah.
Lots of people would come through there.
We leave there at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Sook's gym was nice. You guys don't want me. Not, you know what? I'll give you your due. We talked about this, so I'm not gonna. When I say this, you're not really included. You guys are all happy that I couldn't come out all the time and play. We would have taken some people's spots on the UFT, whatever UFT team we talk about. You're talking about Sook's gym, stuff like that. Stuff like that. Like I said, you're not necessarily included. You and I had great battles over the years. Some of these other people that we hang out with have a bad attitude about how highly they think of themselves. They forget they have bad memories, man. People have bad memories. Do you find that sometimes that some people have bad memories?
No, they don't have bad memories. They're delusional.
Okay. Right. They
don't have bad memories. Right? They're actually just delusional.
All right. I was just,
because
people are going to see this. People are going to see this. As far
as they're concerned.
Yeah.
We're on the same, like me and them are on the same level, or they're better than me.
But like just right, like regular people, right? It's like how I can say to you, all right, I'm going to make this statement. We've had our battles, but the other folk, right? Yeah, it's the same kind of thing, right? We don't want to get into a fight on here, and we don't want to get into a heated debate or anything about stuff. But yeah, there's a certain level of folk, basketball playing folk that they could. I mean, they had a good game. They had a good game up to 7, maybe, right? Once, twice, and then they cheered about it. But then they missed. There's. I heard this is funny, and whoever hears this and can put this one together is wonderful. But I went to some club 2-3 years ago, maybe. I think it was, what do we call it? Rebel, whatever the hell it was at the time. I think it might have been Rebel still. The docks. And you get to the club, coolers, or you get to the parking lot, coolers in the back, warming up before you hit the club. And I ran into 2 former teammates. And we're just talking, we're having a drink, and they're like, we were just talking about you the other day. And I was like, fuck you
Little
talking about
me?
me for? Yeah,
Little
what
me?
are you talking about? And then like, they were like, we were having a debate between us about, one player versus you. And I was like, oh, and this player is like, it's their boy, stuff like that. I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. And they're like, and you won. And I was like, okay, first of all, of course I fucking won. Right? Like I've been telling you guys this for 20 years. Of course I won, right? And right, but then I'm sitting there, like I'm like, duh. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, so wait, you guys were having a debate about me and I wasn't even there and I won. I'm like, you damn fucking straight, right? You know what I mean? So
Got complex.
Right, but this is what I mean.
My ninja.
I get worked up for this stuff sometimes because people just, even when there's people that are very successful in basketball now, or not now. That's maybe did some things after high school or whatever that made them feel a little bit better. But shit, let's giddy up. Let's get out there. I mean, give me a warning shot. Give me like 2 weeks to stretch, right? I'll eat you up. You know what I'm saying?
He
But
said, give me 2 weeks to stretch. You look crazy, bro.
Hey, give me 2 weeks to stretch. We good to go and let's rock. But no, there's a time and place.
You did push-ups for me the other day. Next day you had a cast on.
Yeah, but
he said, give me 2 weeks to stretch. You be in a body cast, bro.
Right, because I tried to go straight, right? But hey, hey, like I said, if it was ever real at the time, ain't nobody got too much tough talk.
I hear that.
No, that's all that matters. Yeah, I'm an old man.
Mary Ward, stand up. Yes, sir.
Oh boy. That's fun. That's fun. Ball was fun back in the day. That was some good, glory days. Glory days.
Last week while we were in the middle of our podcast last week, some great history was being made, bro. And I don't even know if you got to see it. But the Locks versus Dipset, they had a sick.
Oh.
Did you get to see any of it? Did you watch any of it?
Only the highlights, right? Because we were at work, right?
I didn't even realize it was happening.
Right. When I got off, I was like, what's this? What's this?
Yeah.
This? Jada, Lock, this, that, blah. I was like, oh shit. That's all you heard about for like still hearing about it.
Still hearing about it.
Yeah, man, that was litty.
I must have watched it like 2-3 times now.
I didn't go back and watch it. It was litty.
Well, I mean, I work in a barbershop. I just turn it on and then it's playing.
Yeah,
and everybody's enjoying themselves. Yeah. But it was a good time.
It felt like back in the day again, a little bit.
It when Locks was performing, it felt like back in the day. When Dipset was performing, it felt like what's going on here, man?
Yeah. Oh, there's levels. There's levels to me.
But again, I never really cared for Dipset like that. Did you? Did you care for Dipset like that?
No.
I know you're like a Jay-Z Rockefeller guy, and I know Dipset's Rockefeller. And
I mean, I like certain things because I like certain things, right? Just I don't like everybody in Rockefeller. I mean, throw them diamonds up in the sky and stuff like that, but it doesn't mean that everybody in Rockefeller is great. I
couldn't understand the whole Dipset thing. Like I'll say I understood that they had a vibe. They had a vibe, and that was what was carrying their whole momentum through their era.
Right. Yeah.
But I couldn't. As music, as like hip hop, like as lyrics, like I couldn't understand how this was a thing.
Right.
So I just had to appreciate it off of like people love it because of the vibe, not because of the music. You know what I mean? And whenever music came out, I'm believing people are only loving it because they just love the movement.
Yeah.
And the music is
Yeah.
attached to the movement. Because when they said Locks versus Dipset, I'm like, Dipset doesn't stand a chance. But people are like, no, Dipset's gonna kill them. I'm like, their music is not even like their music is not even good.
Right.
Like their music, yes, their music has a vibe for a time, for a certain set of people.
Yeah. They're a subset of a subset of a subset.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's exactly what they were. A subset of a subset of a subset. But like Locks was like hip hop, and Locks was crazy, and they were like sick, and they were lyrical, and to think that my favorite lyricist in Locks wasn't even considered the best lyricist. You know what I mean? So to show you like the prowess of the group.
Yeah. Yeah. People don't. I mean, even with verses now, like so I didn't watch this one. I hear this was like a dope show. If you were watching it, especially if you were watching it live, like you were up in it, you were engaged and stuff like that. But even now it's getting like, all right, who's this person versus who's this person now? Right? Because remember how it started, right? I think we might have spoken about this, so I won't dive into it too much. But when it started, it was big people, like big people, like big people.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just like subset of a subset. Now they're just trying to bring people, now they're trying to bring back people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where maybe the first couple of things, it wasn't about those artists needing the help. Like they got a boost,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? They got a boost, but they didn't need a boost. Even when we talk about the Locks, especially freaking Dipset, like being on Versus is that's their Versus is helping them, where originally the artists I thought were helping Versus, right? Like good concept and Timberland and what's his face, Mrs. Keys, Mr. Keys, Mr. Keys.
You're a rude guy, man.
Huh?
You're a rude guy, man.
Yo, big up to Swiss Beats, but big up to Alicia Keys, right? Right? Yo, Swiss Beats is lit, right? And because of this era we're talking about too, right? Swiss Beats very, very much a part of, Jigga life, the Jigga story, all that good stuff. I'm not hating on Swiss Beats. I'm just saying Alicia Keys. That's all. There's a difference. That's just how the world works, man. The world is meant to be judgmental, I guess I heard, right? We got to judge everything. We got to compare everything. We got to fucking this or that. That's how it works. So yeah, Mr. Keys, good for them. Like that's no hate. Again, what did we talk about last week? Incremental, right? So, all right, Mr. Keys, you're a 9.25 behind your wife's 9.87.
Oh my.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Challenge me on that. I don't care. Bring it. We can do a poll on that. Alicia Keys or Mr. Keys. Do it up. I'm gonna put that poll up. I'm gonna put that poll up on the gram. Who's larger?
Do it.
Right?
Do it.
Who's larger? All right.
Who Mr. Keys or Mrs. Keys?
Mrs. Keys. Because then this is where we might get a new demographic of viewer when they hashtag Alicia Keys, and a couple of different people might watch this because everybody knows Alicia Keys, man. Come on. If you don't know Alicia Keys, you know Alicia Keys. Because what starts to happen with people? You ever, you watch a basketball game, you watch a baseball or go to a baseball game, when it's intermission and you just hear an instrumental, right? You just hear just the elevator music in the background. Those are the artists you want to be, right? Those are the artists that, when you're hearing Empire State of Mind playing in the background, stuff like that. Okay, it's great that you're somebody's walk-up song this year at a baseball game, for example. But are you the person playing in the background? And that's when I talk about levels of, when we're looking at things, levels of people, because the difference between Jay-Z and like Dipset, you know, like Jay-Z is being played in the background of this and that.
Right.
Everywhere you look, if you just pay attention to, if you're watching the freaking Grammys, if you're watching fucking Desperate Housewives, right? Whatever you're watching, when it goes to like commercial or it fades to black, that kind of stuff, what do you hear at that time? And I will tell you, and you might not know it, but you hear a little bit of Jay-Z. You hear a little bit
Orchestrated, orchestrated for sure. He's like,
right?
he's creating stuff for that type of stuff.
Like I wish I could reference it right now that Jay-Z and Beyonce are now, so she's on the cover of something. I forget what it is right now. And in there is Tiffany, like Tiffany Co., Tiffany and Company. So now they're both the front runners for that.
What are you talking
about? So whatever their ad campaign right now, like Tiffany's ad campaign, is Jay-Z and Beyonce, which is being released in like the Vogue. So Vogue has, I think it's Vogue, Beyonce
Bazaar.
cover. Bizarre? Is it Bizarre?
Bizarre. Well, I know she, like right now I see that she's on the cover of Bizarre. I don't.
Go to Beyonce's Instagram. Whatever her last posts are about. So if it's Bizarre, that's fine. Whatever it is. So she's on the cover of that. They got Tiffany and Company's. They're the head of the Tiffany and Company camp. They're the head of the Tiffany and Company campaign. In that being released, and he just got, what's the liquor he's into now? He got bought by damn it! I would feel so much better about being a Jay-Z fan if I knew this exact information right now. But is it Hennessy? No, it's not. It's like a Hennessy campaign of some sort. But whatever company.
Nas is Hennessy. No. Unless Jay-Z said, "Yo, give me that. I need that."
I need some filler while I look up this information. Do a commercial or something, brother. 1 second here. Like, hang on here. Jay-Z.
Have you ever felt like you needed a haircut? Have you ever felt ungroomed? Have you ever felt uncomfortable around your friends only because of your personal grooming? Well, call 905-604-2552 or visit couturelife.ca and schedule an appointment to get couture clean. Couture, it's cuts
in bio
and culture.
So Tiffany and Co. They're Tiffany and Moet, right? So he's got a stake in Moet now.
Say word.
Right? He sold some shit. Now he's got a big stake in Moet. They came after him. So in that Bazaar, she's on the cover. They're releasing the Tiffany whatchamacallit, the Tiffany ad campaign, and the liquor as well. So this is when I'm talking about levels of, all right, you got a nice rap song. You hit the top of the billboard for this week. But we're talking about different stuff now. And that's why the young kids don't like Jay-Z, because they can't appreciate that shit. When he's talking about, all right, I'm like, should I be talking about the same stuff that I was talking about when I was 22 that I'm talking about now? No, I should not. No, I should not. And that's why some people don't like Jay-Z, because they don't feel it to be relevant. But now he came out in 96, that he's coming out, he's got this shit, he's good to go, we're good to go. And he said he's going to be here for some time, and we're very many years later, and he's still relevant, but he's still talking, and he's still talking about his current life. His current life is this. And same thing with people like I think we talk about Will Smith, people that you've seen their entire careers from they were itty bitty, and now, big. It's a different look. You can bad talk Will Smith because he hasn't had a lot of movies lately, but when he has a movie, he's going to be on like his trailer, for example, is going to be on NBC 9 p.m. Whatever show's on at 9 p.m. in prime time, that's where the Will Smith commercial is going to be. That's power. That's what people are missing. That's where it's different. There's levels. That's why Jay-Z ain't on Versus. Because you know what I mean? Like that's what, there's levels to it. So I try to be detailed in the way that I look at things. So that's why I say Mr. Keys. Right? Mr. Keys. All that shit.
Mr. Keys ain't gonna be on Ellen, but Mrs. Keys will be on Ellen.
Well, if they're both on Ellen, she's sitting closest to Ellen.
Just this guy.
Right? So whatever. No, like I said, that's not disrespect. That's just, it is what it is. It is what it is.
You know what I didn't get to see? I didn't get to see none of the 3-on-3 basketball, and I was super excited to see some of that 3-on-3 basketball.
I didn't see it in the Olympics. I saw it previously.
Right.
I did not
You're saying
watch.
that.
Yeah.
You're saying that before. And I thought I'd be able to catch some, but I barely caught any of the Olympics, to tell you the truth. I made sure I got the runs in the morning, like when
you had the runs every morning, guy. You gotta.
I got the runs in the morning.
who makes sure that how do you make sure you got the runs in the morning?
God, the things I eat at nighttime. I got the runs in the morning.
Oh, geez.
Man says, yeah.
Sorry. Well, you said. I'm just here to.
I got the runs. Oh wow.
You don't complain when I emphasize the right stuff. So shit. Literally.
Yeah, man.
So all right, you missed the 3-on-3.
Never got to see the 3-on-3 stuff, but I feel like Canada did the best that they did. I feel like Canada, this is the best showing that they've had in regards to gold medals this year, or medals period.
Medals period, right? So it started out a little bit slow for me from an Olympics. So first couple of days I didn't catch too much Olympics, and then I made it a priority in my life to catch some Olympics. So if I understand it all correctly, we had the most medals that we've ever had, which was 24 at the Summer Olympic Games. I'm not sure what place that puts us in, but who really cares? So
it's the most medals we've ever had.
Most medals we've ever had.
Okay. Which
was good. And then so it was interesting. I mean, it was good. There were a couple good stories, I think. Last week we talked about Andre DeGrasse, and I know you felt that I was trying to bat him up a little bit. And we spoke after the 100, but before even the heats. No, the finals were coming up.
The finals were the next morning. The finals were the next morning. Yeah.
And I was trying to say that I hope he wins. Right. And but there was a couple of reasons that I can see why he didn't win the 100. So I was because I know that we had planned to meet up and chat about that, but for whatever reason I couldn't make it. And I was watching it and I was hyped. I couldn't scream out loud as it was happening, but I was pumped to watch him in the 200. Because he has worked hard, right? And I thought last week we talked about, I thought he thought he was too big. He thought he was too big before he had won.
Yeah.
Right. And
yeah.
In the 200, even in the heats, you could see Mans was all business after he got, I don't want to say humbled, but a little bit humbled in the 100, I think. Right. For maybe his expectations are crazy, but I was hyped and good for him. I'm happy. Like that's a quote unquote local boy kind of, right, as well.
Like right around the corner from here.
He's from around town, right?
As a matter of fact, I live on his street.
Right?
The street I live on is named after him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wicked. All right. Well, you call him and tell him that to come on down. That's wicked. So very good for him. What else was there? There was, I mean, the soccer was good, right?
Mm-hmm.
The women's soccer, because the women have been battling for just number one. They beat the U.S., right?
Co-ed soccer. I mean, it's not
Come on,
funny,
man.
but it's co-ed.
I
It's not
mean,
co-ed. It's co-ed.
no.
No.
Anyways,
Yes. All right. Go ahead.
the women won gold,
Yes.
which was a huge accomplishment, and that game was good. There's a lot of like just good moments, right? So and then Christy St. Clair, so good for her, right? She's been on the soccer team for a little bit, so she finally got her gold. So that's a good story. Right? Because look, she's been the soccer gangster for years, right? And she's lost and she's been disappointed and she's always represented. So I would assume this is her last Olympics.
And
she
she's
gets
a
to go up.
big goal scorer, right? All
Like
these years.
like something about like she's got all the, I'm pretty sure she's got all the tags that she needs to have from a Canadian women's soccer perspective. So that's good. The swimmer girl, I know her name. Penny, right? Penny Alaxiak, I think, if I pronounced that right. Sorry for butchering your name, but she is now the most decorated Canadian.
What?
Total, yo, most in the summer. So maybe more in the winter. I think there's some wind. Obviously, we'd probably do a little bit better in the winter, but in the summer, she's got 7 medals.
What?
All swimming. So she was pretty gangster. She got a couple this year. So that's dope. There was a lot. I mean, there's a lot of more stories to it. So I'm probably not doing Canada justice, but you know, I heard there was a lot of firsts, a lot of good stories behind that. And then there was the what's that guy's name? Damian Warner.
Okay.
The decathlete.
Yeah.
So decathlon's,
Yeah.
you know, best athlete in the world. And that guy, I think he's been working for a hot second to win. And he won gold, and I think he's at some sort of record as well. So that was gangster. I saw the second day, I guess, of him. So he was I think he was up most of the time as well, if I remember correctly, and then he was able to win.
Only thing I saw him do was the javelin.
That's hard though. I mean, Decathlon was the best video game, one of the best video games ever. Decathlon on a Atari 2600, yo.
Oh yeah. How old are you, my G?
I'm pretty old, right? I am from. We should talk about this on the next time around. Is we are from a generation pre-internet, right? Right, like first video games, consoles, right? Stuff like that. So we've been through it all. But anywho, I think the biggest story. I can't say it's the biggest story overall, but the long distance dude. This is
Mohammed
Mo Ahmed, right? So talking about how close I am to Niagara Falls, so I'm closer to St. Catharines, right?
Okay.
That comes before Niagara Falls from where I live. So he grew up in St. Catharines. He moved from Somalia when he was 11, right? So he's been around. From that perspective, I guess his older brothers kind of were in track as well, and then he was the little guy, kind of trying to come along and race with them.
Okay.
Right. So he raced in or he got the 5,000 meters, right? He got silver in the 5. So he didn't, I guess, not gold, but silver in the 5,000 meters is the first like Olympic Canadian medal in that race.
Yeah.
Ever, right?
That's heavy.
So that's a big.
That's
right.
heavy.
He's from yeah. So that's like right around the corner.
Okay, so the hammer's doing stuff.
No, he's not from the Hammer. He's from St. Catharines.
St.
I
Catharines, St.
don't try
Catharines,
to.
St. Catharines, St.
I ain't trying to claim St. Catharines. No disrespect to St. Catharines, right? Like, Toronto, Hammer, Hammer. Right? I ain't trying to claim St. Catharines. Big up to St. Catharines. Big up to Mo because you're from St. Catharines,
Big up Mo.
right?
Canada, stand up.
So he's been coming, man. So big up to him.
Yes. Mo.
Right? What was that right there? Right? We Canadian,
CAF.
right?
Canadian
So
as what?
right. So it was a good Olympics, and it was different, a little bit different, pandemic Olympics, but good.
That guy
Good.
Mo, if it's the same guy, when Fitz was at OFSA cross country in Barrie, I think Mo did a little speech to to all the kids. You know what I mean? If it's the same guy, I think he's like a Nike representative. So yeah, he spoke about his come up and his trials and tribulations and his story, and talking about him, just what it took for him to be the athlete that he is,
Yeah.
So when I seen his picture on the Google, the Google, when you go into Google and then you see pictures,
your
right?
alerts or whatever.
Your alerts, right? Whatever, right? See him with the flag. I'm like, yo, Fitz, isn't that the same guy that was talking to you guys, telling you guys to like stay strong and stay focused? But that's pretty dope to know that I seen a silver medalist thinking with my own eyes.
Right.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. Right. That's crazy. And it's like I said, lots of good stories, quote unquote, bigger stories that more people might know about or whatever. But that's one I'm like, yo, that guy's from right here, man. Like, good for that guy.
That's dope, like, because that's not our event, right? Like that event different. Is usually for the hotter climate countries.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Dope. And he came here, right? And he did his thing, right? It's not like, it's tough regardless to be Canada's first medal in that event. I think it was in the World Championships. So I think they do that regularly, yearly, or some, but whatever it is.
Maybe every 2 years.
The first, whatever it is, he was also the first Canadian medal in the World Championships too. Right. So he's been slowly working his way up. So it's good that boom, he gets his medal. And I mean, I'm not sure how it works for long distance runners, but I think he's 30 now. I got to imagine if you can run that at 30, you must be able to run that at 34 or 33 because we're in an off year for the Olympics, right? All right. That's that Canadian mathematics, not the ancestral stuff, right? So good there. So hopefully he can I guess that to infinity and beyond, as they say, from that perspective. So yeah, Canada did good, man. I bleed my red and white, I guess.
Oh, yes, there. But I think I got a little red right here. Nice.
Right there, right?
A little drop of red is my I bled this red.
That's it. Represent.
I got this little right? Hey. I said I got this little red right here.
Oh, people don't understand that. People don't understand that.
If you know, you know.
weHARE.
Yeah, look at you. You got your red wrist and your red cup. Canada red. Canada red.
Right. Sometimes you just don't know. Sometimes, see, this is Canada. Oh, come on. See,
our home and native land, true patriot love.
True patriot love.
All our sons command.
Oh.
Canada, stand up. Canada.
Word. Oh, jeez. What else we got? Anything exciting? No, we got to figure out, brother.
What to do?
I think that well, we're gonna look back. I forget. I'm doing a poll about something we have to put out. I think we should do another poll about medium.
Like small, medium, large?
I'm a large. Like delivery methods, consumption methods. I'm torn. I don't, I think we talked about reaction a little while ago, maybe last week. I'm surprised a little bit by the reaction.
Okay.
A little bit. Like it's, a little, I mean, it's not like it's like we don't have 1 million followers or anything like that, but it's good to see even on, for example, because we post in multiple spots, right? So I know maybe that I'm getting a couple of followers because somebody that might have followed you.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So somebody follows you, sees the Breakroom, and then hits me, right?
Right.
The algorithm, right? I can see the algorithm picking up a little bit. So I am curious about how the people, what is it that brings them in, kind of, or what is it? What part of what we're doing specifically drives a little bit of that? Is it, because I know there's people that watch the whole thing, start to finish, right? I know there's people that are like, I love the quick clips because actually, I'm on break.
Right.
Like have actually said to me, it's perfect because I'm on break.
Right.
And I'm like, that's fun, that's funny. And then even the little bits in between that we've talked about, right? Like, all right, is it 2 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, stuff like that? Is it audio? Is it video? I'm curious. I think it's a little bit. I don't know. Are we talking too much about our own shit? But I think it hits all of those little pieces a little bit. But I'm curious just from that perspective.
I think we're gonna find out, because I think what's gonna happen is gonna choose us. You know what I mean? Like whatever it is, it's gonna choose us, and we're gonna have to go the way that it's showing us that we have to go. Right. So I don't know if we're gonna decide the way that it's gonna work, but I think that what is gonna be most successful for us is gonna be the direction that we are being led to. Like we can't fight the ebb. You know what I mean? So maybe it's gonna be audio. Maybe we'll find that audio is the way. Maybe we'll find that the little clips. Maybe we'll find that it's a certain subject matter that we hit that one day is gonna be like, yo, this is where we gotta just keep on this particular subject matter.
That's funny too, right? I think from a reaction perspective is surprisingly some things that have driven conversation I didn't think might drive conversation. Not that I didn't think it would drive conversation, but just looking at comments or like obviously there's more likes than there were before, but even still just what people might react to is interesting. Because even just I went to meet an old business colleague for coffee and he was like, I saw your thing. And I was like, you saw my thing?
Right.
And he's like, yeah, like the other day on Facebook. And I was like, which one? Right. So it's not like he watched one.
Right.
One. And I was like, oh, all right. And I was like, oh, the hell? Like, how did he's like, I liked it. You didn't watch all of them, but he liked that one.
Right.
So when we talked about subject, maybe it was timing for him, but on that subject matter, he was like, all right, I like that. It was the vegan. He was talking
Okay.
about the vegan clip,
Okay.
just in general, because he's vegan.
Okay. Okay.
He was vegan.
Right.
You don't know who's what, who's this, who's that, or anything like that. So I was like, oh, that's your connection to it. But you would know, I can definitely say personally in my list of things or people that on my list, I didn't like write down, we got to connect with the vegans.
No, but funny you say that and you bring that up right now, because I went to an event on Sunday. Right, my cousin had a birthday. It was my cousin's birthday, and she was celebrating at a club in Pickering called Aquario. So I went there, and when I'm in there, I see like a bunch of people from the east that I know. You know what I'm saying? So the one guy comes up to me, says, "Yo, pizza in the break room," and I look at him like for real? Okay. He goes, "Yo, man, good video," and I seen the video, about you being vegan and why you turned vegan, and it's kind of making me want to make a change in my life. And I was like, already? I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It was, you know what I mean? And to say that I know him and he didn't like the video. And I'm not saying that he didn't like the video, so I'm upset about it. What I'm saying is that it showed me that even if people aren't liking, people are seeing. Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it just goes to show me that not because people don't like doesn't mean that they don't see,
Right,
and don't
or
acknowledge,
watch. Yeah.
or it doesn't have some sort of impact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I learned that long time ago with my business when I was cutting hair. When I still cut hair, but I used to, like when I used to post stuff, and I think I do some stuff that are really good. You know what I mean? But
I think so too, brother.
But the amount of likes I get compared to the skill that it's
Yes.
portrayed doesn't equate compared to what I see out there in the internets. You know what I'm saying? And it used to bother me initially. I'm like, man, how come I'm not getting these likes? How come I'm not getting these likes? Right? But then I realized you can't get an appointment with me. It's going to take you at least 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month to get an appointment with me. And then I realized,
talk to me like that, yo. Don't talk to me like that, because I can't get an appointment with you for that long a time either. I feel bad. I think I'm supposed to be like some sort of VIP, and I still got to wait 2 weeks.
Don't worry, you're good, man. You're good, man. You know the
Sorry,
direct number. You know the direct
that's why,
number.
bro. That's why I had to go with the locks, or the twist up, because
So
I can't get a cut.
what it was
Sorry.
making me say is like, I came to realize that the acknowledgement that you're getting on social media doesn't really mean much. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a full schedule. You know what I mean? And that is what I tell people that I talk to, that like entrepreneurs that are getting ready, like that are trying to start their business or that are doing business and are complaining about their social media presence. And I'm like, are you busy? And they're like, yes. And I'm like, well, then don't worry about it.
Right.
Because if your mission is to create busy business, then it doesn't matter how much likes you get. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because because your social media presence is to generate business for you.
Right.
But if your intention is to become a social media influencer,
yeah.
then maybe likes and impressions is what's important to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? If your intention is to become an influencer, then maybe that's
that's
important.
what you need.
But if it is to generate business and you find that you're busy, don't you worry about it, because there's a lot of things that I do online that people don't like, and I don't see impressions, but they come and they tell me that I'm doing it, and I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't know you even knew, because I don't see that you acknowledge it online.
Yeah.
But when you see me in my face, you acknowledge it, you tell me things. You know what I mean? Like, like I said, I was at the party the other day, and a dude referenced something, like a guy walked by me and reference something that I did online. Reference something. And I looked at him like I didn't know
What the heck?
Yeah, like what the heck? Like
what the heck's going on? Yeah. But you find that I find
so I realized they don't necessarily like, but they're seeing and they're watching and they're being impacted. But maybe they just don't press the button to say I like, you know what I mean?
I like it. Yeah, maybe that's not their thing as well, right?
Right. So what you're doing is not necessarily going unnoticed. And I say that to a lot of people that, come in the shop and, maybe they're entrepreneurs on their own and they're doing their thing and they're worried about the likes. I'm like, don't worry about it. If you're busy, then you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Don't do it for the likes, right? Don't do it for the likes. I do it for the love.
Well, just do it for do it for what you're doing it for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because the reason I find more than anything to do it for either myself or, to your point, to do it for your own, love of it is, again, it's all, the whole expectation conversation, right? But you don't know what's going to strum that chord in somebody.
Right.
Maybe it's not. So I found, through some feedback, maybe it's not the actual story that you told, it's that you told the story. Right. So maybe maybe somebody can just say, you were able to say that out loud, tell that story, and respect that portion of it. And maybe that's whether they hit it or not, maybe that's what makes them hit the like button, as opposed to actually liking what I was talking about, for example. Right. And that's why I find that I can't worry about anything other than, my own, what I'm doing, what I can put out, what we're doing. And people are, because I don't know, because brother, at the end of the day, all we're doing is jumping online with each other for a couple of hours a week. Right. And talking about some shit. Right. Like, we've talked about putting lists together. We've talked about this. We've talked about that. Today I have 0 lists. You know what I mean? But we're sitting here and just having this conversation, and to be able to say that I don't think we have a goal for this session that we're having,
other than slot of time, right?
Other than the goal is that we're going to have this session, right? So we have this session, here we are, we're good to go, and everything else, I don't know, man. Somebody's going to like that we spoke about the Olympics. Somebody's going to like that 2 guys from high school are doing something during the pandemic together, right? Somebody's going to like that their barber also podcasts, for example, right? Right. You know what I mean? Like,
I got you.
Okay. But as long as I or you or whoever it is putting whatever it else is into what they're doing, it can't matter about what anybody else is, because you just never know. Never ever know what their thought process is, their motivation to watch, to listen, to look at the clip, to hit like, to comment. So we just do what we do. And like I said, we just have conversations for a couple hours every week and see what comes of it.
So what do you think about opinions? You think everybody has the right to express their opinions?
For sure, 100%. They're also responsible. They're also responsible for what they say and what they think and what they believe as well. I can say whatever the hell I want. At some point, I'm responsible for it. Yeah. Right? Good or bad, consequence, whatever it is. And that goes to everybody else. So if you say some stupid shit, then you should be able to get called on saying some stupid shit. You're responsible for what you say and what you do and what you put forward at some point in time, right?
So do you think that people have the do you think that people have the, or say, okay, our opinion should be governed? Like, so for instance, me and you are having this little chat right here online, right? We're going to post it in the future, right? Do you think that the things that me and you speak about should be governed by a certain body? Or do you think we should be free to speak about what it is that we want to speak about?
I think we should be free to speak about what we want to speak about, but then also appreciate that people are gonna judge that shit. And if they judge it, then what I would say is the same way that I look at things is, and again, between you and I, like, people are gonna watch this and think we have this great synergy in everything that we do, and you and I must be so alike and this and that. But the truth is, like, we disagree on like a shit ton of things. It's just about, right? It's just about the fact that I can just appreciate your opinion. The fact that I can then appreciate the way that you just have conversations, or appreciate the way that you just look at things in general, because not only are there a shit ton of things that we disagree on, there's a shit ton of just beliefs that we have, regardless of agreeing or disagreeing, that align kind of too, right? So I don't know. It's just, anybody can have their opinion, to be honest with you. But you also have to, if I'm going to say something out loud, somebody can say, I didn't like what you said out loud. And hopefully they're built in a right way to have that conversation. And that's what we are able to do.
Okay. So now there's the bill C10 that was being issued in Parliament in regards to the CRTC trying to govern what's happening online in regards to broadcasting. Right? So for instance, the CRTC, they deal with all things that happen. Where did you go?
Oh, come on. You can't see me right now? What do you see right now?
I just see your avatar.
Still?
That beard is long, bro.
I know, that was a good beard. That was a good beard. All right, speak, man. I can hear you.
So the CRTC, they're the governing body of what happens on broadcasting in Canada, right? So in regards to radio, in regards to television broadcasting. So for instance, they kind of legislate that there has to be 50% of Canadian content on certain channels, on Canadian channels, or even on the broadcasting airwaves, right? So the bill C-17 is looking to have CRTC have that same power over what's broadcasted on the internet. So for instance, YouTube and Netflix, right? And there's an issue now saying that if the government has power over what is being broadcasted on the internet, like Netflix, YouTube, and your social media, talking about, they'll be having, they need to have a certain amount of Canadian content, then people are worried that the government will have power over what you actually post as an individual. So I'm sitting here wondering, what do you think about the idea of censorship, of the government having that type of power over what you're able to broadcast over the internet? Because, for instance, if they're saying that, if they're putting it as, oh, we need to have this certain amount of Canadian content, if the government has the power to say you have this certain amount of Canadian content, will they abuse the power and say, this is the type of Canadian content we want you to have.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if me and you start the conversation about whoop-de-woo, you know,
they can come in and say no,
or just take our information, take our upload now,
right,
and push it off
to the side,
because it's not the type of thing that's in alignment with
their expectations.
I guess my question is, like, what do you think about, you know, like the government, and what do you think about control of speech and control of ideas, of people's ideas, you know, especially when it comes to like the internet and, like, for instance, what we're doing.
Right. Well, you know, I guess if we're really being specific, then maybe I don't like censorship, right? But that's because I know that I'm responsible for anything that I put out there, right? And then because I know that I'm responsible for anything that I put out there, that means that somebody can call me on it.
Right.
Right. But if they call me on it, then whatever the scenario is, we should be able to have conversation. So if we censor something, then we can't even have that conversation. Right.
Right.
So that's where I say, then I don't believe in censorship, because you should be allowed to say what you say, and I should be able to say, you know, that's bullshit, and then we should be able to talk about it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
That's, I guess, how I feel about stuff in general, in terms of how people should be able to deal with things.
No, when you say that, it just puts me into the mind of thinking of what's happening right now. Even like what you said is pretty powerful in regards to what's happening with the Corolla and the Maxine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you look on television, all the information, all the conversation is directed in one direction. It's just one way. But that cannot be possible if there's a world full of people with different ideas. How could all the information that is on television, on the broadcasting stations, be solely just one way?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So if it's solely all this one way, it's not me and you having two different ideas and having conversation debates about it. It's just it's just, this is the conversation. This is the way that they're portraying that everybody is thinking about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? How could that possibly be? And that's not healthy. You know what I'm saying?
No,
that's not healthy. It's not allowing for the conversations it's not allowing for people to see that there's conversations being had. There's differences of opinions, and allowing people to see what the differences of opinions are. It's just like, they're broadcasting that is this way.
Your opinion's not wrong. You're right. Your opinion's your opinion, right? From however you decide to gather information that goes into your opinion. All right. I cannot agree with the way that you do that, but I can't say you need to change. You know, like, I can just say, I wouldn't do it that way, I guess. Right. But I'm not going to tell you that you have to look at it differently. I'm just saying I would do it differently. And then that's okay. Just like, you know, like you talk about, what was it? The Maxine and the Corollas, right?
Right.
We're years apart on that shit. Right? Light years apart on that shit. But I see you, I'm gonna give you the biggest hug in the world, right? Every time. No matter what. And that's what people aren't able to do. So because somebody on one side, like I said, you just don't, it's not that you're wrong, it's just that this is how you feel. And I can't tell anybody how they should feel. Right? I can't tell you how you should feel. You feel how the way you feel about whatever it is, just the way that I feel about what I feel about whatever I feel about. Some of it is emotional. It's not all like, we're human. It's not all freaking logic, bro. Right?
Right.
No-
Sometimes,
Right?
yeah.
It's not all logic. And then if it's not all logic, then how can I tell you about all the illogical stuff about how you're supposed to process that? Because certain things mean something to me that mean something completely different to you. And that's the beauty of it, I guess.
Hmm. My whole thought is that these implementations of government controls or government just regulations shouldn't hinder us from having the necessary conversations for us to grow in a direction
Yes.
that's possible. Because
Yeah.
I personally think these regulations are going to hinder growth, or at least hinder the growth that is necessary for us as a people. Maybe not hinder the growth for the government, like you know what I mean, like
To hinder your growth, you think? Like personally, your growth in terms of, and to widen it, the way that you look at the world, the way that you walk through the world, knowing that there's a world around you, know that you, sir, know that there's a world around you that works a certain way.
right.
And that, you know, you also understand that in certain situations you are the majority, and in certain situations you're the minority, right?
Okay, I could say hinder my growth,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if the
Mm-hmm.
information that is being spread, right,
Yeah. Yeah.
is of a certain, if the information is a certain way that's leading people to think a certain way, it
Mm.
could particularly affect me, say, as a business owner.
Or a vegan.
Forget vegan. We're just talking about business owner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, for instance, right now, there are businesses that
Yeah.
are taking information,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't know where they're getting their information from, but because they have the certain information that they have, they are making decisions now to limit their clientele
Right.
that come into their establishments.
Yes.
If you are with Maxine,
Mm.
you can come inside my store. But if you're not with Maxine, you have to eat outside.
But that's the dumb shit.
But
I
that's
think.
people thinking that they're doing the right things because of the
Yes.
information that because of the information that they're being given, or their
And
understanding of the information.
and to clarify, when I say that's the dumb shit,
Yeah.
that is in terms of, I really don't believe, like, I'm going to give you a hug, for example, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are people out there that are like, you've been vaccinated, like, I can't be around you because you're vaccinated,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's people, you're not vaccinated, I can't be around you because you're not vaccinated,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna give you a hug, my friend, right? Every single time, because there's a reason within all those things, uh, certain expectations of civilization as a whole, I guess,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Like outside of certain decisions and beliefs, hopefully on some level, that there is some sort of respect at the people's perspective, right? And I know that you have a very high level of respect at a people's perspective at every turn, regardless, yes, no, we agree, we align, whatever. At the end of the day, you as a person have a certain level of,
Mm-hmm.
a certain level, right? And that's where I say, if it's just all about you're vaccinated, I can't talk to you, then shut up, right? Honestly, truthfully, the world works in a certain way. I have different beliefs than a lot of people. A lot of people have different beliefs than I do. A lot of beliefs align as well. So that's the part again about censorship, is that's where I can appreciate that. I can handle that world. Some people can't handle that world.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, I think we can both agree that some fucking people need to be bloody censored. Right?
Absolutely.
Whether you believe in it, whatever you believe, whatever side you're on
I hear
of
you.
censorship, right? Some people need to be fucking censored.
Gwey.
Bop, bop, bop.
Gwey.
Chuck. That deserves a chuck as well. Yeah, man. So, that's what the people that I like in the world are people that can look at shit and look at every little itty bitty situation and just say, this is what I think about this situation. It doesn't always have to be this, because I like this, then this, because I like this means that, and this and this and this and that. Like, no, certain things, very specific. Specificity is important in life.
Specificity.
Yeah, man. Trust that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Right? It's another good one, I think.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it every time.
You bring out the best in me, my brother.
Yeah, that's the point, man. That was the whole point. I remember, I think I told you at some point, it was like there's certain people you call for certain things, or message about certain things for certain reasons. So, one more down. It doesn't matter. Next one's up. That's all that matters, I guess, right? And that's the point.
Pizza in the break room. Hey, it's pizza in the break room. Shaun and Fitz brought it.
weHARE. weHARE.
All right. I think we did it,
man.
my bro.
All right.
Until
Throw
next
that
time.
up. We'll see you up. Big up.
I know you have a hard time dealing with the specifying the dates that we have. So
Yeah.
until next week, Tuesday.
Bop. All right, brother.
Peace, my brother. Good night.
Yeah, man.